Think home prices are about to crash? Zillow's latest data shows a different story. The median home price hit $426,900 in June, up 4.1% from last year. But that's not even the shocking part. Let's break down why this matters for you. The price increase isn't just a number on a screen. It's real money coming out of buyers' pockets. If you're in the market for a home, you're facing some tough choices. Do you stretch your budget? Wait for prices to drop? Or change your expectations? Here's the thing. Waiting for a crash might not be the smart move. The housing market is more complex than headlines suggest. In this video, we're going to uncover why these rising prices matter and what they mean for your real estate strategy. Trust me, understanding this could save you thousands, whether you're buying or selling. Let's dig into the data and see what it really tells us about home affordability. The numbers paint a pretty stark picture, especially for first-time buyers and middle-income families. Although the graph may appear simple, computing it required extensive data. By leveraging historical data on mortgage interest rates, median home prices, and the Consumer Price Index, or inflation, I calculated the monthly mortgage payments, principal and interest, for each month adjusted to 2024 dollars. This adjustment ensures that the payments on the far right in 2024 reflect current values, while the payments to the left of 2024 have been adjusted, allowing us to compare home affordability levels over time. While today's median home mortgage payment is nearly double what buyers faced in 2020, we have not established a new all-time high, as 1981's record is still far above today. Though no new record has been reached, thankfully, home affordability today is worse than at any time since the 1980s. Buyers today are facing tough times, so many people assume home prices will come down. Unfortunately, that is not likely. When we look at different markets across the country, Zillow data reveals that out of the 50 largest metro areas, only 10 offer homes that are affordable to median income households with a standard 20% down payment. And what median income family has the cash to make a 20% down payment? That's right, just 10 out of 50. If you're house hunting in places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, or New York, you're facing an even tougher battle. Now, you might be thinking, well, what about luxury homes? Surely the high-end market is doing fine. But here's the kicker. Even luxury properties are feeling the squeeze. In fact, luxury home values have outpaced typical homes for 5 consecutive months. We're seeing luxury home values rise by 3.9% compared to 3.2% increase for typical homes. What does this all mean? It's not just first-time buyers or middle-income families struggling to afford homes. This affordability crisis is spreading across the entire market. It's affecting everyone from young professionals looking for their first condo to well-off families eyeing that dream home in the suburbs. Let's put this into perspective for some real numbers. Zillow reports that the typical home value in the United States hit $362,482 in June, a 3.2% increase from last year. Now, 3.2% might not sound like much, but it's the lowest monthly growth we've seen in June since 2011. And remember, this is happening while wages aren't even keeping pace. Here's where it gets really concerning. The typical mortgage payment for a median-priced home now consumes 39% of the typical household income. Historically, that number's been around 21%. We're talking about nearly double the historical average. That's a massive jump, and it's putting home ownership out of reach for many people. And it's not just me saying this. Lisa Sturdivant, chief economist at Bright MLS, put it bluntly. Affordability is the main constraint on the housing market. Now, when experts are using words like main constraint, you know we're dealing with a serious issue. But here's something that might surprise you. Despite these affordability challenges, we're not seeing a flood of homes hit the market. In fact, existing home sales fell by 5.4% in June. Why? Because current homeowners are feeling the pinch too. Many of them are locked into low mortgage rates from a few years ago. They're looking at today's higher rates and deciding to stay put rather than sell. So what we're left with is a market where both buyers and sellers are feeling stuck. Buyers can't afford to get in, and many sellers can't afford to move out. It's a classic catch-22 situation. Now, you might be wondering, is this just a problem for people buying their first home? Not at all. Nearly 43% of last year's home buyers used gifts from family or friends to help with their down payment. This isn't just affecting young adults striking out on their own. We're talking about a wide range of buyers across different age groups and income levels, all struggling with affordability. If you've been following me, you know I focus on housing market data analysis from major sites, unlike many fear-mongering YouTube videos making unsupported claims about crashing home prices. The real issue isn't a housing crash. It's the growing home affordability crisis that should concern us all. If you're not a subscriber, please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe now to get all my new content when it is fresh. If you really want to know what's going on in housing, to see and hear the data explained, to learn the tips and tricks that put extra money in your pocket, then subscribe now and I'll keep you in the know. Now that we've seen the harsh reality of home affordability, let's dig into what's really driving this crisis. It's time to talk about supply and demand, the hidden forces shaping today's real estate market. At first glance, the numbers might seem confusing. Total housing inventory is up 21% from last year. That sounds like good news, right? More homes on the market should mean lower prices. But here's the kicker. We're still 33% below pre-pandemic levels. And get this, we're a whopping 74% lower than the peak inventory we saw back in 2012. So what's going on here? Why aren't we seeing more homes hit the market? The answer lies in something called the lock-in effect. It's a fancy term for a simple concept. Homeowners are staying put. Think about it. If you bought a house a few years ago with a 3% mortgage rate, would you want to sell now when rates are double that? Probably not, and you're not alone. Zillow reports that about 2/3 of the outstanding mortgages have rates under 4%. That's a lot of people with a big incentive to stay right where they are. While it's clear that homeowners staying put reduces demand in the market, what's less apparent is that it also decreases the potential supply of homes for sale. This stagnation creates a direct impact on the supply and demand balance, with each homeowner who doesn't move contributing to both reduced demand and limited supply. But the lock-in effect is just part of the story. We must address another issue that's been developing for years: underbuilding. For over a decade, we've fallen short of constructing enough homes to meet demand. The consequence? A significant housing shortage, estimated at a minimum of 1.9 million homes according to Zillow, and potentially up to 10 million homes by other estimates. This graph presents a simplified comparison between recent construction and past trends, highlighting a significant shortfall, nearly 5 million homes. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent millions of families who can't find a home that fits their needs and budget. There are several million reasons why prices keep climbing, even when the economy gets shaky. Now, you might be thinking, surely this can't last. We must be due for a crash, right? Not so fast. Remember 2008? This isn't that. Back then, we had a glut of homes after the government took away programs for lower credit buyers. Today, we have the opposite problem: not enough homes and homeowners with solid equity. Rick Sharga, a market intelligence expert, puts it bluntly: the record low supply of houses on the market protects against a market crash. In other words, as long as demand outstrips supply, prices aren't likely to take a nosedive. Now, this is usually the moment in the video where someone in the comments calls me a shill, claiming I'm just here to tell everybody to buy, buy, buy. Take Carly, for example, who dropped a gem in my last video. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't buy a house. All right, Carly, let's dive into that. Not just for this video, but for any future ones where I'm breaking down housing market statistics. Unless you're comfortably settled in your parents' basement, you're going to have to make some kind of housing decision. Doing nothing is, in itself, a decision. If you've got a low interest rate mortgage, I totally get why you'd want to stay where you are. But let's focus on everyone else, especially those who are relocating for whatever reason. They've got three options: buy, rent, or, well, be homeless. So Carly, if your situation is basement suite basement, I can see why don't buy a house might sound appealing. Free is hard to beat. But let's consider the folks who are actually needing a place to live. If you choose to rent, you're looking at skyrocketing rents, thanks to, you guessed it, low inventory. If you choose to buy, prices are soaring for the same reason. And if you choose to be homeless, well, God bless you. So what does all this mean to you? Whether you're buying or selling, understand these supply and demand dynamics is crucial. For buyers, it means being prepared for a competitive market. You might need to be more flexible in your search, consider up-and-coming areas, or look into down payment assistance programs. For sellers, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you can get a great price for your home, but unless you're downsizing or moving to a much cheaper area, you'll face the same tight market when you buy your next place. The key takeaway here, don't expect a quick fix to the affordability crisis. The factors driving it, the lock-in effect, years of underbuilding, and persistent demand aren't going away overnight. But by understanding these forces, you can make smarter decisions in your real estate journey. All right, now that we've uncovered the forces driving the housing market, let's get practical. What does all this mean for you, whether you're looking to buy or sell? First, let's talk about a surprising trend. Nearly 25% of home listings saw price cuts in June. That's the highest rate for this time of year since 2018. But don't get too excited. A cut in asking price doesn't necessarily mean home values are declining. It's more about sellers adjusting to market realities. Speaking of market realities, Zillow's forecast might raise some eyebrows. They're predicting home values to rise only 1% nationally through June 2025. That's a far cry from the double-digit increases we've seen in recent years. So what does this mean for you? If you're a buyer, this could be good news. The market might be cooling off a bit, giving you more breathing room. But don't expect prices to drop dramatically. Remember that supply and demand issue we talked about? It's still very much in play. So what is your game plan if you're house hunting? First, focus on your budget. With affordability being such a big issue, it's crucial to know exactly what you can afford. Don't just look at the sticker price. Factor in things like property taxes, insurance, and potential maintenance costs. Next, be flexible with your home search. With inventory still tight, you might need to compromise on location or features. Consider up-and-coming neighborhoods or homes that need a little TLC. Sometimes the perfect home is the one you make perfect. Here's a strategy many buyers overlook: down payment assistance programs. This can be a game changer, especially for first-time buyers. They can significantly lower the barrier to entry for home ownership. Do your research. You might be surprised at what's available in your area. Now, if you're looking on the selling side, you're probably wondering how to navigate this changing market. The good news is, well-priced homes are still selling relatively quickly. But here's the catch. Competition is increasing and buyers have more power than they did a year ago. What does this mean for your pricing strategy? You need to be realistic. The days of slapping any old price on a house and watching bidding war break out are over. Work with your agent to price your home competitively from the start. If you aim too high, you might end up chasing the market down with price cuts. Speaking of agents, choosing the right one is more important than ever. Look for someone who understands these market dynamics and can guide you through them. They should be able to explain things like supply and demand, your home valuation, factors impacting you in the market today, and how your home compares to recent sales in the area. Here's a pro tip for sellers. Focus on profitable improvements and touch-ups on your home. Too many sellers are told to practically rebuild their homes, but you want to focus on maintenance and improvements that will return you more money than you spend. Remember, whether you're buying or selling, knowledge is power. Stay informed about market trends in your specific area. National averages are helpful, but real estate is ultimately local. What's happening in San Francisco might be very different from what's going on in Atlanta. Finally, don't let the headlines scare you. Yes, there are challenges in the housing market right now, but there are also opportunities. By understanding the market dynamics and being strategic in your approach, you can still achieve your real estate goals. So, what's the bottom line here? The housing affordability crisis isn't going away anytime soon. It's a complex problem with deep roots in supply shortages, changing homeowner behavior, and economic factors. There's no magic solution or quick fix on the horizon. But here's the good news. Understanding these market dynamics gives you an edge. Whether you're buying or selling, knowledge is your best tool. Stay informed about local trends, keep an eye on inventory levels, and be ready to adapt your strategy. The future of real estate is all about flexibility. The market is evolving, and so should your approach. Maybe it's considering different neighborhoods, exploring new financing options, or timing your move strategically. Whatever your real estate goals, success in this market demands creativity and adaptability. Are you ready for the challenge? We've explored the housing trends, but mortgage data tells a deeper story. In my next video, I uncover foreclosure and delinquency insights that you won't find in typical housing reports. These revelations could change how you think about buying or selling in today's market. Watch it now to get the full picture.